In an attempt to flee, a scared security guard is unscrewing the valve to an air duct. The scene switches between a series of monitors that display different rooms within Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, a family-friendly amusement facility akin to Chuck E. Cheese's. The guard captured and rendered unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, the guard discovers that he is securely fastened to a chair. He yells as a bar-shaped mask with pointed gears and springs is gently lowered onto his face. While standing in line to purchase lunch, Mike, a security guard at the mall, saw a man pick up a young girl and carry her off. Mike goes after the man and gives him a hard tackle and beating. Mike gets fired when it comes out that the man was only the girl's father. He meets a career counselor who gives him an opportunity to work alone at Freddy's as a nighttime security guard. In order to ensure that nobody vandalizes the establishment overnight, the counselor explains that Freddy's has been closed since the 1980s, but the owner won't sell and is keeping a single guard. Given Mike's lengthy history of being fired from jobs, the counselor believes this will be a good fit for Mike because he won't have to interact with others. Mike says that he cannot work nights and declines. When Mike gets home, his apartment door has an eviction notice posted on it. He walks in and greets Max, the babysitter. While Abby, his younger sister, is busy painting, he meets her. Mike is raising Abby by himself that night. Mike takes a nap under a poster of a Nebraska forest and plays a natural sound cassette tape. Mike is with his parents and a younger sibling named Garrett in his dream. They are in the Nebraskan woods, camping. While they are playing, Mike loses sight of his brother, and when he does, Garrett is being taken away. As Garrett is driven off in a stranger's vehicle, Mike is helpless. The following day, he goes to a meeting with his Aunt Jane, whose attorney, Jane, is presumably attempting to obtain custody of Abby in order for her to be eligible for government assistance in raising her. For the time being, the caseworker supports Mike, pointing out that he is the focal point of all the drawings Abby makes, suggesting that he is the center of her universe. But Mike is told by the caseworker that he has no choice but to obtain employment if he wants to maintain custody. Mike takes the position of night security at Freddy's and gives the career counselor a call. Mike heads to the closed pizza and leaves Abby in Max's care. Mike finds an old cassette recording that shows Freddy's as a laid-back family hangout and plays it. Mike discovers a tiny statue of a balloon boy in a locker, which surprises him. He nods out quickly and dreams of Garrett's kidnapping once more. This time, though, he dreams about a group of children dressed as animals or pirates. The kids flee as Mike asks them who they are. Mike gets up, goes back home, and goes to the diner. Max and his brother Jeff are meeting with Jane. As it turns out, Jane employed Max to rummage through Mike's possessions while she watched him in order to uncover information that would incriminate Mike in the custody dispute. Mike has an unusual quantity of sleep, but other than that, Max claims he has nothing to hide. Subsequently, Jeff and Jane devise a scheme to loot the pizza place in order to dismiss Mike again that evening. After bringing the picture of Nebraska and the tape recording of natural noises to work, Mike nods off and dreams of Garrett being kidnapped. He runs into the odd kids again. Once more, the children flee, but Mike finds one of them and demands to know their identity and level of knowledge. The child wakes to the sound of someone at the door after giving Mike's arm a pirate hook scrape. When Mike opens it, he sees Vanessa, a police officer who works the same beat as Freddy. Entering, she demonstrates her familiarity with the location by stating that she visited it as a child and that it was once the happiest spot on Earth. Vanessa notices that Mike has a bandage on the same spot on his arm where he was scratched in the dream. According to Vanessa, Freddy's was closed down in the 1980s after a number of children went missing there. After that, she leads Mike into the entertainment room and flips on the light. Many of the electronics are activating. There is Chica Freddy, Mr. Cupcake, and Bonnie Foxy. Before the power goes out and the couple departs, the animatronics sing and dance. Vanessa, Freddy's girlfriend, remarks that no security officer has ever stayed on the job after the two depart for the maximum number of hours. After breaking in, Jeff and his two friends start robbing the property and taking valuables. The animatronics come to life and start to leave the stage. A buddy of theirs happens upon Chica and Mr. Cupcake. Mr. Cupcake devours Chica's face when she throws it at him. Bonnie pursues and ultimately kills the other friend by repeatedly hitting his head against a door with the animatronic. After Jeff is apprehended by Mr. Cupcake and Foxy, he is discovered dead in a room containing spare components. A child is seen by Max rushing through the pizza place. After trailing the child into a room, she spots the animatronic version of Freddy. Max moves forward to have a closer look as the animatronic's toddler voice cries out from inside. Then, Freddy reanimates and cuts off half of Max. Vanessa meets Abby when she visits Mike's residence the following day. She informs Mike of the break-in and asserts that he failed to secure the doors. Then, asking why he has his sleeping pills, she gives Mike a bottle of them that she discovered there. Mike admits that he's still tormented by remorse regarding Garrett's kidnapping. Soon later, his parents passed away, leaving him to care for Abby alone. He's been deliberately making himself dream about the kidnapping in the hopes that he'll recall some hint that will help him track down the kidnapper. He claims that he is able to make himself dream of the kidnapping by going to sleep, staring at the Nebraska poster, and paying attention to the noises and sights of nature that he saw and heard throughout the event. Since Max is dead, he says his dreams have never been as vivid as while sleeping at the pizza. After putting Abby to sleep in a tiny pillow fort, repairing the damage from the break-in, and being terrified by the Balloon Boy statue once more, Mike is compelled to take Abby to Freddy's. Mike closes his eyes. In Mike's dreams, Abby awakens before him and starts exploring the pizza. If the children are the ones who were Abdu, he asks them. Ed. They affirm that they are in the 1980s. They point to a painting they did of a rabbit in the dirt when he asks who kidnapped them. Then Mike wakes up to his sister screaming. When he arrives, the animatronics are all around her, tickling Abby rather than attacking her. Abby gives the animatronics hugs and images she made on the way home, demonstrating how much they like her. According to Abby, spirits reside within the animatronics and are the reason behind their movements. Mike, Abby, and Vanessa return the following evening. Vanessa's awareness of the animatronics' sentience becomes evident. The animatronics and people engage in gameplay. Eventually, Mike makes time for a private conversation with Vanessa. She is frustrated with Mike for taking Abby to Freddy's in order to demonstrate the potential dangers of the animatronics. Mike is led by her to a back room. Animal exterior shells are present, along with electrical skeletons housed inside the shells. A spring mechanism that clamps onto the electronic skeletons is used to lock the shells to them. As a result, if the mask with the initial gears and springs were strapped onto a person, it would very likely kill them. She then issues a warning to Mike, telling him to give up on locating Garrett's kidnapper and never to bring Abby back to Freddy's. She also says that he shouldn't put Abby at risk while yet continuing to pursue his career. Mike gives Joan a call and asks her to watch the kids while he works on his goal. At last, one of the enigmatic kids consents to speak with Mike. The kid attests that they are the same kids who were kidnapped along with Garrett and that they are now the animatronics' ghosts. The young one pledges to grant Mike happy dreams in which Garrett and Mike's parents are living. In return, all they want is to play with Abby indefinitely. Mike agrees to the offer at first, but later changes his mind. In the dream, the kids attack him, and when Mike wakes up, Foxy knocks him out. In the meantime, Mike is either killed or rendered unconscious when Freddy visits his flat. When he invites Abby to play with him at the pizza, she accepts. The taxi driver is startled when the two climb inside. Mike, once he gets well. When he invites Abby to play with him at the pizza, she accepts. The taxi driver is startled when the two climb inside. After Mike gets better, the murderous Freddy mask from the movie's opening is lowered onto him while he is strapped to a chair. With Vanessa's help, who emerges out of nowhere, he escapes. Vanessa tells how Garrett and other kids were kidnapped and killed by a man called William Afton, who created Freddy's and dressed like a yellow bunny. He concealed some of the kids' bodies in the robotic outfits before the authorities started looking into it. William brainwashed the animatrons into believing he was their father after learning that the children's ghosts had later taken control of them. When Mike notices that Abby is in danger, he urges Vanessa to come to her aid. She sobs and tells Mike that she has to provide him information on how to get into Freddy's. Vanessa gives him a teaser and adds that electricity can render the animatronics inoperable. Mike enters Freddy's covertly and observes Chica escorting Abby to a back room. Mike tases Freddy and Bonnie before pursuing Chica into the back room. He witnesses Chica and Mr. Cupcake trying to program Abby into an animatronic that resembles a marionette. Mike taunts the siblings and interrupts. As they head out, Mike embraces and declares he would never give up Abby. The yellow rabbit appears and starts fighting Mike as Foxy follows Abby. Vanessa teases it just as it appears that Foxy may catch Abby. Next, the policeman approaches the yellow rabbit and addresses him as Dad. The rabbit reveals himself to be a career advisor after removing his mask. After Freddy's closure, he assumed a new persona, William Afon. Vanessa begs her father to stop, but William coolly approaches his daughter and stabs her. Mike instructs Abby to inform the animatronic of William's true identity in the meantime. When Abby paints a picture of William killing them while wearing the yellow bunny suit, the animatronic's attack and William's corruption are reversed. The lunatic bleeds and shouts to Mike that he will return, but the animatronics activate the spring lock mechanism during the altercation, impaling William. The animatronics then drag William to the back rooms. After Vanessa is pulled from Freddy's by Mike and Abby, we observe that the two of them are getting along better. They visit Vanessa, who is comatose at home, in the hospital. Abby expresses her terrible feeling that the ghost children are indeed alone now that William has stopped paying security officers to stay overnight. When Abby wonders if they can return to Freddy's one day, Mike says that it's possible and that while they're there, William is still alive despite being imprisoned in the bunny suit.